Back at it again, and we've got one here with Ben Shapiro. Yeah, it's been a while since we've checked out some Ben Shapiro. It's been a long time, but today, of course, that changes. But before we hop into it, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed to the channel already, hit that subscribe button down below and join the family. All right, join the family, and make sure you guys are following me on social media. All of those links are down below in the description box. Okay, but with that being said, let's dive in.
So I'm like my friend here, also on the left, and I still appreciate that you came to talk. While I don't agree with you, I still agree that we should have these conversations. From your talk on the Great Reset, I can't help but noticing that it still feels like a conspiracy, in the sense that nothing what you said from the Schwab quotes, etc., lead me to believe that all these companies will start driving policy. If leaders like Biden agree, we're still electing them, and so it still follows that they're saying that, hey, they'd like to see this change happen just like you do, just like I do.
Okay, so these corporations are driving policy hand in glove with governments that are helping them out. So, for example, there are a bunch of these corporations that have, for example, like the Biden administration has tried to press the idea that if you want to be traded publicly, then you have to be ESG scores. Okay, ESG scores, environmental social governance scores, have nothing to do with what your company actually does. They have to do with how you are going to be given points on an environmental scale.
And that whole thing is a total scam. I don't know if you guys remember, but Tesla, Elon's company, had like a lower score than like some oil company or something on that. And I was like, wait, what? So there was like this whole thread on Twitter talking about it. And I'm like, hold on, like this can't be real. Like if Elon's company that produces electric vehicles, that's supposed to be what they want. But because he doesn't follow along with their narrative and he says he supports people on the right, he all of a sudden has a bad score? How does that work? Now, admittedly, making electric car batteries is not environmentally friendly, okay? But they're telling us that oil is bad, but oil company having a higher score? That just didn't make any sense to me. But anyway, let's continue.
And what that really is it's an attempt to disincentivize investment in, for example, fossil fuels. It's an attempt to incentivize investment in green policy. Well, that's a subsidy. I mean, it's a backdoor subsidy for green companies, and it's a desubsidization of oil and natural gas, which has dramatic ramifications for energy prices, for example, which we've seen over the course of the last couple of years. Now, that sort of policy has real effects on everyday life. I mean, it's kind of boring stuff, but it does have real effects on how people live, what they pay at the pump, the economic growth of the entire globe. When there's a serious economic crisis, like there has been in the aftermath of Ukraine, where suddenly there's great shortages of oil and natural gas, it turns out a lot of this ESG policy has some pretty dire ramifications. Right? That sort of policy making has reality, has real life consequences, and that's a problem.
So if the government wants to incentivize all these, if it wants to go against oil and fossil fuels, I think that's completely fine. Again, we're still electing the government.
If you want to elect the government to literally just restrict oil and fossil fuel leases, you can do that. I mean, people did that with Biden, right? Biden actually said he was going to do that, and then he did do that, and then he claimed he didn't do that, and he claimed it was Putin's fault, but he did do that, right? So that is at least answerable.
Thanks.
The problem is when you have companies acting hand in glove with the government and essentially being told that to do so they will be part of the wave of the future. Here's our policy. Our policy from the government is to push investment in green. So now here's a subsidy via the Infrastructure Act for your green policy. Like that sort of stuff. It's amazing to me that Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party, if you go back this far, I'm a little older than you guys, but when you look at those two movements, theoretically they should have been on the same page. The problem is they were arguing with different sides of the aisle. The Tea Party was saying government shouldn't be subsidizing hedge funds and bailing them out. And Occupy was also saying the same thing, but then they were blaming the hedge funds. What I'm saying is you blame both, right? Everybody is at blame here. When you get in bed with the government, you engage in corporatism that undercuts competition and makes your company do bad policy in pursuit of some higher and broader social goal. What you're really doing is ignoring the will of your own shareholders. And when you ignore the will of your own shareholders, you are betraying a fundamental trust of the people who gave you the money and put you in charge of those companies in the first place. That's the argument.
Sure, but if a company wants to act in accordance with, say, what society has or what society finds important, I don't think that's necessarily bad as long as they're still fulfilling.
Well, it depends what they're doing. I mean,
Sure.
I agree with you. If the question is, can corporations act in a political way? Sure, corporations can act in a political way, but they shouldn't lie about what it is that they are doing. Right? They should be very clear about what it is that they're doing and why they are doing it. If Klaus Schwab wants to green the earth, he shouldn't pretend that he's doing so on behalf of the entire earth or on behalf of shareholders. He should say, I want to green the earth. This is my priority. I'm doing it with your money. Just say that. Why is that so dishonest? That'd be more honest.
So, sorry, if I may go back to something that we said before, it sounds like these are subsidies that a company can get, but it's not like if a fossil fuel company is something that it will not be able to get, but they also they get subsidies from the government, which I'm sure you and I may both won't agree with that as well. Actually, I don't know if we'll agree with that or not, but.
Well, I mean, they get oil and gas leases from the government. The actual profit margins for the oil and gas companies for years and years and years were actually fairly low because of the lack of investment, the disincentives created by the federal government investing in these things.
Sure.
It's only the last couple of years they've had really good profits.
Sure. Well, sorry, I'll finish with this.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll finish with this because I know that other people are not. But it just sounds like the criteria of ESG scores, as you say, it just seems like it's a subsidy that's available for whoever meets this criteria.
Yes, but the question is who's designing the criteria and why? And pretending that there is public approval for the designation of those criteria at a market level is not true. The entire market doesn't want to do this, which is why it's dangerous when you start getting government involved in the skewing of the markets. Because the normal response for this on a market level was, you want to pursue ESG, fine, go ahead and do it. And then my friend Vivek Ramaswamy will launch a rival fund to BlackRock, and that's fine. They'll go into competition. They won't do the ESG stuff. They'll just do all of the same investment, but without the ESG. That's all fine and good until you have the government that is working hand in glove with BlackRock, and BlackRock paying money in order to get those people elected, and those people using government power in order to foster BlackRock's agenda. That's a problem.
I didn't mean the market. I mean,
I've never heard one of the things that's very weird about this is the left usually doesn't like the close cooperation between government and corporations. Suddenly the left is very much in favor of close cooperation between government and corporations, which is strange to me.
It's regulation. Like, that's completely fine. That's
yes, but it's regulation on behalf of certain particular corporations who are willing to do the dirty work on behalf of the government.
Yep. They're trying to get around, the government doing all of this by having companies do it all, right? So, listen, big man government, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. They did it. Like, that's the whole strategy, but in reality, it's the government. Like, they're instructing these companies to do these things, and guys like Schwab and all of these other folks who go to this what was it called, the WEF forum or whatever you want to call it, while they fly their private jets, mind you, polluting the air. But of course, rules for thee, rules for me. You know the saying.
It's payoffs.
It's a subsidy.
Yes, I don't like those.
It's a subsidy for people who qualify.
Yes, I don't like those. Correct. And that's why I said at the end, there are two ways to fight this. One is that you go into competition with these companies, and two is you don't elect these people anymore.
I disagree that it's as sinister as you say it is, just because it's a subsidy.
Well, I mean, I think the agenda is sinister. You may think that it's clean how they do it. That's fine, but it's a sinister. In my opinion, it is a sinister agenda to try to remake the single greatest economic system, bringing global prosperity, capitalism, on behalf of a bizarre notion of zero growth in order to achieve greater global economic equality, or whatever it is that Klaus Schwab and company want.
Right. Well, I really appreciate this. I could keep going, but...
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
What they really want is for them to stay rich forever and for the rest of us to stay where we are forever, right? They want the classes separate. And that's part of the reason why they're pushing all of this stuff, because once they're in control of everything, they can control who climbs the ranks. They can control who falls out of the ranks. Right now, they can't do that. Right now, it's just out of their hands. They want control of it. And, as I'm sitting back and I'm watching, everything happen, and, I just sit back and think about things, it all starts to make a bit more sense when you see, for example, right, Biden and this administration just absolutely printing money like it's nobody's business. Just printing it. Oh, we'll send you money. We'll send you money. We'll send them money. As a matter of fact, we'll pay reparations for climate whatever that he recently proposed. We'll pay some of these third world countries for that. We'll pay for this situation going on overseas. We're gonna send another $4 billion over there. We're gonna send. They're just printing money like crazy because they don't care about it. They want to destroy it. They want to devalue the dollar, in my humble opinion. Now, could I be wrong? Yes, sure. I could definitely be wrong. But this is just my analysis of it. They want to destroy the dollar so that they can usher in something different that they can control. More recently, I was reading about some of the banks coming together and creating some type of cryptocurrency or something, some digital currency. Why would they want a digital currency? It's a lot easier to shut the tap off if they want to. Oh, you're saying things that we don't like? No more money for you. And don't think that you can go run to one of your little friends or any of your family members to get them to buy stuff for you, because we're monitoring their accounts too. See, Johnny, he normally only buys 2 burgers and fries. Now we see he's buying 4 burgers and 2 fries. Hold on, wait a second. Shut his off too. He's helping you. You see what I mean? It's a lot easier to monitor what people are doing. It's a lot easier to track what folks are doing. And if they aren't doing what you like, shut off the tap. If anybody helps you, shut off the tap. And we know that they're helping you because we can see everything. We can track it all. It's all digital now, baby. And we don't even have to come to you to take it from you. We can be a million miles away from you and just gone. That's just my humble opinion. Now, y'all let me know if y'all think that's correct. If you think I'm crazy and some weird conspiracy theorist and whatever else, hey, let me know. Like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Talk to me. All right. Ben Shapiro once again with the facts on a situation. And yeah, governments and businesses working together, I think definitely is a dangerous, very, very dangerous thing, especially when the government is like, what's the how does that saying go? Throwing rocks and hiding their hands, right? It's almost the same sort of situation. I believe that's how that saying goes. Government is throwing a rock and then hiding their hands. Like, oh, and all these companies around them are looking like, and it's just like, we know you did it. We know you did it. You're trying to make it seem as if like these companies are doing it, but you did it. You're just having them surround you so that we can't see you. It's despicable. But like I said, y'all let me know how y'all feel about it in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.